Be Human is a Betty Boop cartoon from 1936. This is directed by Dave Fleischer and Myron Waldman, with a voice cast including Everett Clark, Jack Mercer, Gus Wicke, and Mae Questel as Betty Boop. And this one became quite dramatic very quickly, and it's also my introduction to the character of Grampy. I'm not 100% sure which cartoon he is first based on this one. I'm keen to explore the character more. I think he appears in a handful of cartoons. Professor Grampy, as he is called in this one, and he plays is pretty great. So there will be spoilers as I discuss what happens in this. And it starts off really delightfully. Betty Boop's at the piano, she's playing, she's singing, everything is lovely. And then she goes to her window, and there's this man, this farmer, just whipping a dog. And when I say whipping, I mean he is thrashing that dog with a whip. It is horrendous to see. And Betty Boop, I should point out, I know it's an animation, but it's brutal. And Betty Boop is still singing. And the lyrics she sings, and I quote, "Be human, animals can cry. Be human, won't you even try?" How lovely and heartbreaking in equal measure is that? I thought that was pretty emotional. It was a very strong start, and she doesn't know what to do, so she phones up Professor Grampy and says there's a man whipping an animal outside, and Professor Grampy comes rushing along in his car, and what he does is pretty brilliant, but it's brilliant for two reasons. So I am about to explain what happens in the second half of the cartoon, or towards the end. He manages to scoop up this brutal man, and he dumps him in a hole in the ground. And in this hole in the ground, strategically placed, of course, it's a giant treadmill. It's about the size of a bed, and a whip. And this horrible farmer has to walk on the treadmill while being whipped. And that in itself, I feel like, is a suitable punishment. But better than that, the treadmill is hooked up to this system. So when he's walking on the treadmill, it shakes a nearby tree. So all of the apples fall down for the pigs. And the horses are getting hay or something, I can't remember exactly, but the horses are getting food because of it, and all of the animals are getting these really great benefits because of this man walking on this treadmill. And I thought that that was fantastic. He's not only being punished, but something positive for the animals has happened as a result of that. And I just thought that was really beautiful. So it's quite an intense animation, but it works very well. I didn't expect, honestly, it was about a minute into it, Betty Boop goes to the window and we see this man whipping the life out of this poor little animal, and I honestly didn't expect it to be quite so harsh, and it was. But ultimately we get this beautiful message where all of the animals are definitely a lot happier because of this punishment, not just because they're no longer being whipped, but because they're getting all of this delicious food as a result of it. So on the one hand, it's a depressing, heartbreaking cartoon, but at the same time, it's really uplifting. And I just love those words. Be human, animals can cry. Be human, won't you even try? I love that. I love that she's saying whipping an animal is not a human thing to do. Unfortunately, it very much is for a lot of people, but I like the fact that she was telling him that he's not behaving the way he should be, and I rather like that. So, a brilliant cartoon, not the easiest to watch, but absolutely worth it.